My name is Chris Palmer, and in today's advanced SEO video, 5 advanced SEO tactics that the big guys aren't talking about. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it right now. So the very first tip, and I'm on a relatively popular blog regarding digital marketing. And the first tip is going to be classes. Have you ever noticed that there's been particular pages that maybe you're in competition with, and you're looking at the page and you can't figure out how they're ranking for particular keywords? Well, one of the reasons could be because they are naming their classes generally LSI terms, or co-occurring terms, or they're using keywords and related keywords, co-occurring keywords, within their classes. SEOs sometimes may forget that Google is not reading just body content or just headers. They are rendering a DOM and reading the rendered DOM. So they are taking into account every single piece of content that's on a page. So as you see here, I've highlighted on this popular blog, and if you start scrolling through, a lot of them will be normal, but a lot of them are named particular keywords that could be semantically related to this particular keyword that we're targeting here on the blog. So I just wanted to go ahead and point out classes. Naming classes is an advanced SEO tactic that is underutilized that the big guys definitely are not talking about. Now, moving on down my list, I want to get into meta descriptions. So I did this quick search here, and as you can see here, we have the main site, and then this piece right here is the meta description, just so we're on the same page here. Now, to go against the grain, might I suggest instead of using a meta description, you do not use any meta description at all. And why I'm saying this is past clients and have came to find out that meta descriptions could be a main reason for over-optimization and keyword cannibalization. So if you're having a problem with a particular page, all right, this is the advanced SEO tip. Might I suggest stripping the meta description, because remember, Google is reading all the content on a page. So maybe strip out the meta description and you could see a bump in your rankings because you're forcing Google to read everything. They're reading that meta description and applying it to that page. So when you're putting keywords inside of the description, it could be hurting your page for optimization levels. Now, there's a caveat to this. And if you're having a page that is receiving a lot of traffic, customize a meta description because you're going to get more clicks. So the tip here is strip away the meta description if you're having trouble ranking a page, but if it is already ranking, edit it so you can get a higher conversion rate. But this particular tip, I'm not hearing any of the bigger guys talking about taking out your meta description totally. Now, on the same note of meta description, I made videos about this a year ago, is doubling up your meta description. Now, with common tools that are being used by CMSs such as WordPress, along with many others, these plugins are telling you green light, red light, whatever the case is. But instead of writing whatever it is today, a X300, well, what if there's different types of people, different types of searcher intent, different ways that people can find your content? What if you were writing a much longer meta description, right? So you could appease to multiple different types of people. I've made dedicated videos to this, but I wanted to add it into the advanced SEO tips guide today. Now, along with the title, as you can see here, all right, as we're using this description here, the main title is here. Now, Google is only going to showcase a certain amount of characters within a title. However, a title that you can actually increase the amount of words inside of your title so you can make this longer to potentially show up for even more key terms. So that's going to be tip number 3. Now let's go ahead and get into our very next tip. And have you ever noticed that they'll have a web page and it's got a lot of content on it? We'll say maybe 2,000 words. It's got their images. Everything is perfect. But you're doing an analysis of the page and you come to find out matches of the keyword on their page only one time, but their ranking and the average for the SERP is much higher. How are they doing it? So, where you could be looking is inside of your meta. Now, it is common practice that a lot of SEOs and bigger SEO names will say, do not put meta keywords on your page. However, because Google is rendering the DOM, because Google is reading every aspect of the page, you could write a beautifully crafted article and put the amount of keywords that is needed to compete in a SERP inside of your meta keywords and still get them read. It will leave your competitors baffled. As we're moving down the list and moving on to the next tip, I want to talk about tags. Now, tags and categories, a best practice to no index, no follow, or no index and follow. Now, what I have found is pages that are receiving a penalty, if you get a penalty, is generally a page-by-page basis. What if you had a page, right, and it's a tag page? It's no index and follow, but have you ever noticed that sometimes these pages end up into the SERPs? Now, here's what's great about this. If you are tagging a page, no index, but do follow, sending massive amounts of links to the page, a penalty cannot be passed because you have actually asked Google not to index the page. You no index but follow and send hundreds of links to this page. It cannot be penalized because it has been tagged no index. If they decide to index it, it's still going to pass power and it's still indexed. That's on Google. And the next tip is going to be doing searches. You have a page, you're doing a competitive analysis of the page. Now, it may, for the H1 and also the title, right? It may have the keyword inside of it, okay? Fine. Great two places to have it. URL, H1, right? Title. That's fine. But the SERP average is much higher and all of the other top ranking pages are above. How are these pages beating you when they are not properly optimized? Well, there is something that is called co-occurrence or co-occurring keywords. Co-occurring keywords are very, very similar to LSI keywords, but these are words that are commonly coming up after another set of words. It's called co-occurrence. Very similar to LSI in a way. So what I have found from doing analysis and doing SEO is pages that are using LSI and using co-occurring words that are generally coming up when talking about certain subjects or keywords, these pages are likely higher to rank, and I've seen in multiple cases where they're only using co-occurring words in LSI and they're outranking other pages that are properly optimized. So this is going to wrap up my advanced SEO tips. This video, I covered as many tips as I could. Classes, meta descriptions, doubling your meta descriptions, doubling your titles, using co-occurring words. The list goes on. I wanted to share some advanced SEO tips with you that I know not a lot of SEOs are sharing. My name is Chris Palmer. If you have any questions about SEO, advanced SEO, if you need some advanced SEO tips, anything at all, please feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next Advanced SEO Tips video. Have a wonderful day.